All right, so Gavin, we had a question come in from someone who's talking about why we keep mentioning and talking about playing the 180 man S&Gs on PokerStars. So why is it exactly that we focus on the 180s?
The 180s are really a training ground for when you want to get into MTTs. A lot of guys come to us and they say, look, I want to be an MTT player. And you look at the game section they've got, the games they're playing, and it's all MTTs and micro MTTs. And sitting around for 6 months and firing off $1, $2 or up to $5 MTTs with huge fields, with huge variance, you're never really going to get that breakthrough. You could possibly even be playing well and not get that breakthrough you need. So the idea that you need to be going to 180s to really learn how to print, create a solid income for yourselves there, so that when you do get into MTTs, and you can get into MTTs at a higher level because you've built a bankroll, you can then go there and say, well, if I don't make any money in MTTs for quite a while, it doesn't matter. I'm still making money from the 180s. And the 180s, everything you can really learn from 180s, you can then later take into MTTs. And it's a great way to save money and learn the most. So if you want to say, look, I want to learn how to play MTTs, but I don't really have a bankroll to play MTTs. Okay, great. Let's play some 180s. Let's learn the basics and the fundamentals for moving up into those games. And we can learn with losing a lot less money. So let's say you have $500. Now $500 in micro MTTs is not going to last too long. But you have $2 180s with $500. That's going to last a lot longer. That's 250-ish buy-ins at $2. So that's going to take you a lot further and give you a bit more breathing space for learning the games. It's also, once you create, you want to learn and create a habit of making consistent money. You don't really want to, unless you want to make this as your full-time job, you don't want to be sitting there 3-4 months down the line and still without any profit or no money in your pocket. Here you can do that. Let's say we're going to put in a 6-7 hour day. You could make, and it is feasible that you can make $1,000 a month at 180s, at $2 180s, which is probably, in some countries, I understand, that's probably a very good or a solid income. Where if you're doing micro stake MTTs, you're probably going to need to ship 2 pretty much close back to back to get something like that, or consistent that money through. And it's not a great place to learn either. You'll find that a lot of good players who started with MTTs, they started a lot higher up. They were firing off higher mid stakes or up to $22 and maybe got that breakthrough, which is also kind of like waiting for a bus. It may or may never ever come. Where this is a lot more of a solid foundation with the 180s to really move on. The most important things really, when you are starting to learn the real sort of basics you need to know, is push fold. You need to get a push fold chart. Get that down and have it imprinted in your brain. When you're not playing poker, instead of watching TV, you can really be studying that chart. That's pretty much going to stop you getting hammered at the tables. If you can understand that, it might make you sort of like at least a break-even player. You also would need to learn how to raise fold. This is a concept that a lot of guys at the micros really never learn. When guys are coming to us and first joining, these first 2 things are never being done, along with sort of bet sizing and stuff, which can be easily fixed. These 2 are probably the most 2 important things you need to be able to learn. I would also say that you would need, which is it sounds kind of stupid to some guys, I get it, but you'd be surprised the amount of people at micro stakes or low stakes who don't actually have a HUD, and you do need to get that HUD sorted out. You would need, it's going to be poker tracker 4 or holder manager 2. those are the two ones you really want to be using. There are a couple of other ones out there, but I would say just go with one of those two to start off with. You can't really go wrong with those two. Try and, for you to get some sort of like decent results, try and find people at a similar point. There are loads of people out there trying to get started. I'm sure there's study groups out there. If you can't get a staking deal, obviously we're offering a coaching program that for sort of guys like yourselves, like low microstake guys. Yeah, that's a great way of learning quicker, taking some shortcuts if you can't afford to paying for coaches and stuff, which can be very expensive at the start. I would say that you also really need to sort of knuckle down with one. Don't get disheartened by a few bad days or a few bad weeks. This is going to take a long time for you to get your head around. You need to focus on one format and really go for it. Really study and go, okay, this might take me a few months to sort out, but I am going to learn everything about this. And I'm not going to be results motivated at the beginning, and I'm going to keep on going regardless of my results, because it's going to take time. I would say that you need to be putting in the volume. The volume is probably even more important than it is at high stakes. High stakes and mid stakes is definitely important, but the hours is just, you need to be making that sacrifice really early on. If you're playing below 1,000 games at 180s a month, then below 1,000 is probably not even part-time. Sort of 500-600 games is probably recreational, like guys that I would consider who are watching TV while they're playing. Part-time is about 1,000. Anything above that, sort of 12 to 1,500, I would say, yeah, you're probably a full-time guy. I think realistically you should be aiming for 2,000 games a month to say I am a full-time 180-man guy. Now I know that can be difficult because you've got jobs and stuff, other commitments, but for you to really knuckle down and get the quickest results, the volume is going to be crucial for when you are learning all these new techniques for yourself. Yeah, I think that's about it. Hopefully that will have helped you, and I'll see you soon.
Right, cool stuff. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.